Hello, welcome to this update for North America. Let's see what's happening. Today is August 31st. It has been some time since our last video, but the weather is more quiet this week, last couple of days. But today and the next few days, we still have some heavy rain in many areas to watch for, and also some heat. And even if you can believe it, a tiny frost advisory in August in Pennsylvania. That's crazy. So here, let's see what's happening. In terms of severe weather, there's not really anything, just a few storms, some general storms in the south, even like southwest, and in Florida too. And then they choose still a few general thunderstorms in a few areas. And this week, not really any severe weather to worry about, just like some some temperature changes coming and some tropical stuff to watch. So let's see here what's happening because the internet doesn't want to work no matter what today here. So it does show still a few storms on day three. Even spots of California are included into Oregon and Arizona, the northern plains, some general storms possible. So be aware. And day two, it finally worked. There's show a few ones in the southwest and like in the south. This will still change, but just some general storms. Today, day one, the main threat is some excessive rainfall in Texas and into Arizona, spots into New Mexico. So be careful because there are some flood watches there in Texas. So turn around, don't drown in case you encounter flooding. Be careful. And it does show like in a few spots in the plains, central plains and marginal in Florida. They show a few marginals in the south and like in the plains, spots of the Tennessee into the mid-south as well. Day three is still a few areas, especially in the Midwest into the Mississippi Valley, spots in the southwest. So you might start getting some storms in California too, and spots in Florida. Day four, still in the southwest and southeast, and day five, and spots there in the northeast as well for day five. So the day one through seven shows some more rain across southern Florida, even like 3 to 4 inches or even more a few spots throughout the 7 day period. So be careful, more tropical moisture there. Spots in Texas, those sporadic storms and slightly heavier spots in the plains as well. They're showing Southern California storm or two as well, but like way further south near San Diego. Los Angeles, you might get something near, but most will be further south. And then shows like Central Canada might get a lot of rain in Ontario as well, and Mexico. So yeah, be aware. There's still some heat risk across the west, especially. So shows like it's a major to moderate heat risk on the northwest and the southwest as well, especially in the Pacific Northwest. Some extreme heat risk building later this week, and then by Friday it decreases. So stay safe in those areas as well. Be careful. It does show a few scared storms this afternoon, Sunday, New Mexico into Texas, spots in the plains, and South Florida, central South Florida. So be careful those storms. And then Monday does show some more storms across southeastern Texas, spots in the plains as well. So in Florida still, so be aware those areas shows still doesn't show much across California or Arizona, but by Tuesday probably we'll start having more. But be aware those areas too. So it does show here like let's see some interesting things here. So here these outlooks, some much below average temperatures are likely coming in the Midwest and Northeast in the eastern half of the US because of a late an early season blast of cold air. It's still the end of summer, but there's some colder air coming from northern Canada that will bring some much below average temperatures, including that tiny frost advisory you just saw in Pennsylvania. So be aware. And then some much above average temperatures on the west. So like two different extremes here. So be careful. Day 6 to 10, day 8 to 14, slightly milder, but still a few spots above average and below average. So be aware. The temperatures themselves does show still like this afternoon Sunday, some hundreds in the southwest, a few spots in the valleys, and more spots in the Pacific Northwest, central Washington, especially. So be aware, a few spots southern Texas as well, close to 100, and like what's happening here. So the minimum temperatures tonight does show in the 40s and 50s already in the northeast, so that's already a shift. And then shows some 80s during the night in Arizona. California still very hot, and spots there in the Rockies slightly colder. So day 2 does shows 110 in California, 103 in the valleys, 105 in Washington and Idaho. So very hot in the northwest. And stay safe. Does show during the night some 50s, mid 40s the northeast, and the Rockies slightly colder too. Not cold, but like milder. And shows some 100 in Washington, 106 by Tuesday the 2nd, 106 still there in Arizona, even maybe higher spots central southern Arizona. So be careful, and Central California too. Day 3 shows some like even to 40 degrees North Dakota. That's already kind of chilly, but not that much yet. Shows some like the Rockies, like chillier as well in the Northeast, some 50s to 60s, but still very hot in southern Arizona, California. Shows to 102 in Washington or even more Wednesday, and the heat indices might make it worse. And show like some 100 in California, 106 and 90s in the south, and this blast of colder air is already making its way to the Midwest by Wednesday. So during the night, some 38 degrees for it shows already. Slightly colder for most because it has been a very hot summer and this comes out of nowhere, so it will feel slightly chillier. So be aware, and shows like some May is still in Arizona, California. So the maximum temperature is September 4th, Thursday, so 104 there in the southwest still, 101 in Washington, and some 90s in the south. So be careful, still shows like some 40s during the night spots in the Midwest, and some 80s in Arizona, 70s in the Gulf Coast. And by Friday the 5th, does show slightly better on the west, but still some maximum 90s, close to 100 in those areas. During the night, slightly better in the Midwest, but still like some 40s to 50s during the night, and some 70s and 80s in Arizona. So be careful. And yeah, so be aware of these temperatures, like the extreme heat and the below average temperatures. And here in Canada, still like some fluctuations as well. So Alaska and northern Canada are already kind of colder that far north. But like southern Canada is still hot in a few areas, some mildish hot temperatures in a few areas. Sunday, Monday, this cold air starts gathering across Yukon and Nunavut, Northwestern Territories, and shows Monday there, slightly warmer, spots southern Canada, especially British Columbia, right next to Washington there with that heat wave. So be aware. And then Tuesday, the 2nd, most of interior British Columbia very hot. Some valleys even to like 34 degrees Celsius. So be careful. Tuesday, Wednesday, these below average temperatures start coming. Does show during the night already. Manitoba some 4 degrees Celsius. Nunavut slightly less. And then Wednesday afternoon, still very hot across southern British Columbia, spots there in Alberta as well, but especially like some southernmost areas might be close to 37 degrees right near the border. So be careful. And then Thursday, show like during the night in Ontario, just some 3 degrees. Thursday, Friday, and still warmer there along the west. So be aware. be aware in those areas. Does show like some storms. And today, Sunday, I've spotted two in Alberta, Saskatchewan. Not much Alberta, like in Manitoba, Saskatchewan. And then it goes, shows Tuesday, spots of Ontario, into Manitoba, some more storm activity Tuesday, Wednesday, as that low pressure system spins in Ontario, bringing that slightly cold air behind it. So Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, still more storms in Ontario, Quebec, maybe into the northeastern US too. So be aware, and we'll keep watching. There's some rain, like especially central Ontario and those areas there. Be careful. The west is drier, but spots in the east and the north more rain as well. And there in Alaska, some heavy precipitation, close to 5 inches there in the European as well, and a few spots in Alaska. So be aware. There's like snow as well. And already showing some interesting snow uh, this early in the season. It's like still the end of summer, and already showing some 21 centimeters in Ontario. That's kind of crazy. But then show like in the Arctic, of course, spots in Yukon, northern Nunavut, and in Alaska, an inch or two of snow as well. But let's see if the GFS has this. The GFS is even more snow in Ontario. That's quite crazy. There'll be a summer snowstorm. But tomorrow is already the first day of meteorological fall, so it won't be that weird, but be aware those areas you might have some weird weather this week. So be aware. And here, shifting our eyes to the tropics, there's this area around 30% chance of formation, the central tropical Atlantic, because some model guidance does have some support for this to form and head out into the Atlantic. Some models are still further south and others shifting further north, so better just watch this, but no big threat for now. The Eastern Pacific, there's this new tropical depression that got designated a few hours ago, might become a hurricane in the central central Eastern Pacific there, but no biggie. There's this other area, or has some 80% chance of formation near Mexico. Might want to watch for some storms near the Mexican coast, but this won't impact Mexico. So there's the GFS here shows like there's that tropical wave in the Atlantic. It tries to form something like by September 6th, the central tropical Atlantic there, but still some ways out. There's the European shows like the tropical wave there. It tries to get a low pressure, but the European keeps it further south until the 9th and then curves north. So the Europeans actually developing a quite impressive system there. There's the Canadian model as well, shows that the tropical wave tries to get organized. It's already developing a low pressure by September 6th. It struggles a lot, but might try to become something. So better watch in the Lesser Antilles, but if this swarms, you'll likely head out into the Atlantic. So no biggie, but just watch it. And there's these ensembles now from the Google AI model. You might have heard about it already. So let's see what it shows. It does show like some members Central Tropical Atlantic, but these are closer to the Caribbean, these last few runs. So better watch this. And then there's this model, and like there's another AI model here that it doesn't have so much support, but it does have various members showing something, and these are further south than usual. So better watch this. But like the European ensembles, they do have a lot of support now, the European. And then because with Hurricane Aaron and the last few systems, the ensembles were like shifted further north. But these ones are more in a southerly track. Most model guidance suggests that you will form and head north, but this, just by looking at this, it might try to approach the Caribbean. So if I were you, I would watch closely if I were in the Caribbean there. So better just watch, but don't stress out yet. It's still a long ways out. In the long range ensembles, they do start shifting north gradually to go out into the Atlantic. A few ones go in, but most are north of the Caribbean. So better watch this. There's the GFS ensembles here too. Most of them are further east and further out to sea. The GFS ensembles. There are few members near the southeast coast because of a stalled frontal boundary there. So this is a still slight chance to spin up into something, but it's very slight. It might not be tropical and just dissipate. So better watch and the stuff in the Eastern Pacific, Central America, better watch some heavy rains too. So be aware and just checking for the rainfall across the Caribbean does show this next 5 days, especially Central America and Mexico, some heavier storms. Central northern Mexico, those monsoon storms and spots in Nicaragua as well, into Panama. So be aware, Costa Rica, those usual storms. But always be careful with flash flooding in those scenarios. In the Bahamas, you should watch more closely. Some heavy rain next 5 days in the central and eastern Bahamas. So be careful, some stronger storms like passing by, and also like some some localized flooding if it gets heavy enough in Cuba, some stronger storms too, and a few storms in Jamaica, Hispaniola in the afternoon and evening. Then does show some rain in the Eastern Caribbean from those waves as well. Not so much, but a few showers and storms next 5 days. So stay safe as well. And yeah, be careful in those areas. And here, just checking some wind does show that front near the U.S. East Coast, some wind near the ocean, and this storm that might form close to western Mexico. You might want to watch some rough surf near the coast as well. And like Canada shows like some stronger winds in the Arctic. Then Tuesday, Wednesday, that low pressure forming. Might be some localized strong gusts, a few spots central Canada because of that system layer near the Hudson Bay, and better watch until the end of next week. So be aware, and we'll keep watching everything.